Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, we were discussing public finance, and in it we were discussing kinds of taxes. The number 4, progressive tax. If the rate of tax increases with the increase in income of the taxpayers, the tax is called progressive tax. For example, a person earning income of rupees 6 lakh has to pay tax at the rate of 5%. The person with 15 lakh annual income has to pay tax at the rate of 10%. It means that the rate of tax increases with the increase in income. Advantages of progressive taxes. Number one, these taxes fulfill the principle of equality because low income people pay tax at low rate and rich people pay tax at higher rate. Number two, such taxes also fulfill principle of economy as the collection expenses of these taxes are low. Number three, these taxes are also elastic. Number four, these taxes help in equal distribution of wealth. Number five, these taxes help to control inflation and slump. Slump means recession, depression, the bad business conditions, they are slump. Then six, the tax revenue is generally used for welfare of the people. Number seven, these taxes also fulfill the principle of productivity as they give more revenue as compared to proportional taxes. Number eight, heavy taxes may be imposed on luxury goods. The disadvantages of progressive taxes. A heavy tax is paid by the rich people, so their savings are adversely affected. Number two, it is assumed that the marginal utility of money is the same for the people having similar income, which is not true. It means that importance of money for a person who is earning rupees 20,000 per month is more than the person who is earning rupees 70,000 per month. So utility of money in the view of the taxpayers is different according to their incomes. The less income group has more utility of money and the higher income group has less utility of money. Then number three, it is also assumed that people spend more on luxury goods as and when their income increases, which is not true. J.S. Mill says progressive taxes are equal to robbery. Number four, this objection is also raised that these taxes cannot be favored for the public welfare because welfare is determined psychologically and there is no scientific method to measure welfare. The number five is regressive tax. Regressive tax is opposite to progressive tax. If the rate of tax decreases with the increase in income and the rate of tax increases with the decrease in income, the tax is called a regressive tax. As the rate of tax does not increase for the rich consumers, so the burden of tax is less with increased income. Then next one is digressive tax. It is a combination of progressive and proportional taxes. Digressive tax is proportional up to certain limit. The rate of tax increases beyond this limit. The proportional rates are used to provide revenue certainty. The progressive rates are used to provide social justice. The number seven is special assessment. In the words of Seligman, special assessment is a compulsory contribution levied in proportion to the special benefits derived to defray the cost of a specific improvement to property undertaken in the public interest. We may say that specific assessment is a compulsory payment for improvement of a particular locality or property. For example, a corporation or government provides water, electricity, gas, drainage, road and parks, etc. in a particular locality of the city. The value of all the property situated in that locality will go up. The said corporation has every right to share a part of this unearned increment by taxing the owners of the property who have got benefits from the improvement. This tax is called special assessment. A special assessment is more or less in proportion to the benefits enjoyed by the owners of immovable properties, for example, development charges per marla. Students, here I will explain this special assessment. For example, before the construction of ring road, the value of lands in this area was less, and after the construction of ring road the value of these areas have been increased to a great extent. Similarly, when development works are completed on a particular society, housing society, they take development charges from the buyers of the plots, because after the completion of development works the value of the property goes up and the buyers enjoy this increment. So this is a special assessment, that is the corporation or the government, LDA, etc. It is it has the right to receive special assessment from the people who have properties in that locality in which the development programs or development works are completed. Now we come to another part of public finance, and that is budgeting. In Pakistan, the federal and provincial governments prepare their budgets for the next financial year, which commences from 1st July and ends at 30th June next year. A budget has two parts. Number one, revenue budget or income budget. Number two, capital budget or development budget. Number one, revenue budget. In this part of the budget, total revenue of the government is shown, which it gets from the custom duty, excise duty, income tax, sales tax, corporation tax, etc., and from other non-tax sources. Head of expenditure include defense, police, education, health, debt services, and subsidies, etc. These expenditures are called non-development expenditure of the government because they do not add to the existing capital stock of the country. Number two, capital budget. In this part of the budget, development expenditure of the government is given. For example, the expenditure on roads, railways, ports, water, gas, electricity, irrigation projects, and long-term industrial projects, etc. These development expenditures raise the rate of growth of the country. The source of income is also shown from where the government meets its expenditure. These sources are revenue surplus from the revenue budget. It means when the government has a revenue budget and there is some amount, some funds which remain unused, this is revenue surplus. So this revenue surplus, then loan got from the people and banks by selling bonds to them. Government in time of need issues bonds to the public and public purchase those bonds, and similarly banks also purchase those bonds, and government, federal government or provincial governments, they get funds for their use. Then loans from foreign countries and IMF, etc., as all the governments of Pakistan have taken loans. Deficit financing by issuing more currency. Deficit financing is a term which means that when the government has deficit budget, to fill that deficit, the government issues new currency. This is known as deficit financing. The development budget of the government of Pakistan is also called Annual Development Program. Then we see what are the kinds of budgets. There are three kinds of budget. Number one, balanced budget, in which total revenue of the government is exactly equal to the total development and non-development expenditure. Number two, surplus budget, in which total revenue is greater than its total development and non-development expenditure. Number three, deficit budget, in which government revenue is less than the total development and non-development expenditure. Then budget formulation, that is what is the process of formulating budget. बजट बनाने का तरीकाकार क्या है, किस तरह जो है बजट तैयार किया जाता है. Federal budget is the statement of the expenditure and revenues of the federal government with the laws and regulations that approve and support these expenditures and revenue. The main objectives of the budget are to finance the activities of the federal government, to encourage economic growth with stability. The federal budget is used under fiscal policy to achieve macroeconomic objectives such as sustained long-term economic growth, higher level of employment, and price stability. Then we see what is the procedure of preparation and approval of the budget. In Pakistan, budget is presented in the first half of June every year. The budget is prepared on receipts of estimated income and expenditure of various departments. The budget is presented by the Finance Minister in the National Assembly of Pakistan. Provincial budget is presented in the Provincial Assembly of the province, which is approved after amendments for implementation. And in the next financial year, the federal budget has two parts. The first part is the revenue budget. It is prepared by the Finance Department in coordination with various administrative ministries, divisions of the federal government. These ministries send their requirements to the Finance Department, which, after consultation, are included in the budget proposals. Number two, the development budget is prepared by the Planning and Development Division in collaboration with the Finance Division and other administrative divisions, ministries of the provincial government. The federal government sends guidelines with the national priorities and strategies to the provincial governments, which send their proposals. After discussion, these proposals are finalized. The provincial governments also discuss these proposals with various divisions, ministries, and then send their final proposals to the federal government. The budget proposals are also discussed in the meeting of the Priorities Committee and Executive Committee of the National Economic Council. When the budget is cleared by the Executive Committee of the National Economic Council, the budget is submitted to the National Economic Council for approval. Then the budget is presented to the National Assembly for consultation and approval. After the approval of the budget in the Assembly, it comes into operation in the next financial year, that is with effect from 1st July. Then suggestions to improve the tax structure of Pakistan. Number one, increase in the ratio of direct taxes. The ratio of direct taxes in tax revenue is only about 37%. It means that the rich avoid tax payment. For better distribution of wealth in the country, the ratio of direct taxes must be increased. Student, direct taxes are, for example, income tax, property tax, professional tax, etc., and they should be increased to get more revenue. Number two, enforcement of agriculture income tax. Landlords and feudals do not pay any income tax. Income tax on agriculture income should be imposed. Number three, withdrawal of undue concessions and subsidies. The industrial sector is enjoying undue concessions and subsidies which must be withdrawn. Students, in the recent near past, you have been listening or reading about subsidies on sugar in Pakistan. Such subsidies are undue. ये नामुनासिब हैं, नाजायज़ हैं, और चूँकि हुकूमत में भी वही लोग होते हैं जिन्होंने ये बजट वगैरह पास करना होता है, इसलिए वो अपनी मर्ज़ी के जो है बजट प्रपोजल्स पास करवा लेते हैं. तो ऐसी जो है रियायतें और सब्सिडी जो है ये ख़त्म कर देनी चाहिए. The number 4, imposition of heavy taxes on luxuries. The government should impose heavy taxes on luxury items. 5. Tax reforms. Most of the people avoid paying taxes partially or wholly. The government should take suitable and effective measures to control corruption in the tax departments and to collect maximum tax revenue that are due on people. Number 6, increase in the ratio of taxes to GDP. At present, the ratio of tax revenue to GDP is very low. It should be increased to at least 20%. The growth rate of tax revenue should be greater than the growth rate of GDP. To achieve higher growth rate of tax revenue, tax structure should be improved. The number 7, tax exemptions. Tax exemption ceilings should be raised for the poor people who have low purchasing power. Goods supplied through utility stores should be exempted from sales tax.